Welcome back, everybody. Betting the W, episode 29.
Look who's here.
Kate's here, everybody. I'm Max Clifford. This is Kate Feast, and this is Damon Borgia. We are the Betting the W crew. Hopefully, we got a lot of new people tuning in because there's a rumor on the street that we have a fantastic interview coming later in this episode. I'm saying right now, top 3 interview we've done in the history of this show.
Top 3 interview. Period.
VIP guest. VIP guest. I guess I can tell you because it's in the name of the episode. Andraya Carter is our very special guest for this episode. We are going to break down the WNBA slate, the WNBA season, talk some of her path to success. She has some great insight. Former Tennessee Lady Vol herself, so she knows ball.
And she gives us some tips and tricks on our pet.
How to raise a snake.
And an interesting pet story from Andrea. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, have you guys seen all over the internet this remedy for cramps that they've been giving to women's soccer players, the hot shot?
The hot shot.
I have seen that.
There have been some visceral reactions to that. I am so curious because I think we all suspect that professional athletes are actually just weak and overreact to things. They are soccer players after all. I got us some hot shots so we can give it a try.
Right.
Oh, he's going off camera. Oh no.
This is the notorious hot shot.
That is like a triple.
Why are they so big?
Oh my god.
This is what they're giving to soccer players. And I'm not so worried about the spice. Have you guys seen the ingredients list?
No.
No.
I won't spoil it, but I am a little bit nervous about what this will do to my stomach.
I haven't eaten yet today, so.
Oh man.
Acid.
I mean, I saw what it did to Alyssa Thompson, and I saw what it did to Michelle Cooper.
Yup.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am a little afraid.
I'm a little nervous for this.
You know,
If
I don't know if I think I'm just hot shit. I don't know if I think I'm a hot shot, but I don't think it'll be that bad. I take those wellness shots all the time. I've taken pickle juice shots. I have a lot of body aches, so this might be good for me regardless. How did you guys
In high school, I played football in high school, and the coaches, if you got a cramp, they would either make you take a shot of pickle juice,
Bro, there is so much in
I hate pickles,
It's pungent.
or they would make you take a shot of mustard, which I also hate. And one time I did get a cramp, and I did have to take a shot of mustard, and there was one time, there was a JV football game, and we were on the sideline for it, and the JV quarterback got a cramp. So he came over to the sideline, and the coach of the JV team, who is my good friend's father, a military guy, real serious in the heat of battle, told us to rub the mustard on the kid's leg because he was cramping.
I'm a hot dog.
And we were like, he said that, and we were like, you kidding? He was like, no, do it. And he was like yelling at us. So we did it, and the kid was like, no, why are you doing that to my leg? And to this day, we really can't figure out if he was just messing with the kid and like making us rub mustard on his leg.
That's incredible.
I have no idea if there was any medical reason for that. So this is effectively a mustard on your leg.
Did you
Smell it.
It smells like Fireball. Is what it smells like. Well, that's Alyssa Thomas isn't of drinking age, so she's not used to it. All right, y'all. Here it is. The hot shot taste test. We're gonna see what this is really.
We're going for the whole thing.
Are we going for the whole thing?
Gotta do the whole thing.
Okay. Oh,
I spilled it.
I spilled it.
Oh, it sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it starts off still sweet, and the heat. Okay.
I stand
All
by
right.
the fact
It's
that I
not.
know that well.
It's not Alyssa Thompson level.
It's not that bad.
That bad.
It definitely burns a little bit. It definitely has some
It's
bite.
worse when you drink water, so don't do that.
It has some bite. I mean, it might need some milk.
Yeah.
It has some bite.
Uh-oh, he spilled.
Damon could not Could not do this.
I can't hang.
So,
Oh.
hot shot official review on a pain scale, 1 to 10.
Sorry.
What are we feeling?
Yeah, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It like
We'll see if it cures
It
all my
doesn't-
ailments.
it doesn't taste good.
It doesn't taste good.
It's
not.
It's so deceitful. It
that's the
smells
point.
fine.
It
It
smells
like
nice,
fruity.
yeah.
I thought it smelled awful, guys.
I thought it smelled very strong, and it like caught me off guard, but it didn't smell bad. And also, there's not like
So,
cayenne pepper in these ingredients, just ginger.
that's what I was worried about was the ginger and the cinnamon. I don't
That's
like.
that's what I'd be taking in like health shots. So
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see
I'm
if
fit.
this prevents cramps. I gotta take a long drive today, so my legs usually cramp up. So we'll see if this is actually a good pre-driving elixir. There's your hot shot review, and you know what?
Official verdict: professional athletes are soft.
They're soft. Come on, guys, get real.
Be better.
That's the hot shot, and honestly,
It's burning my lips with it.
No.
I feel good for the
I'm
rest of the
cool
show.
now, yeah.
I feel good for the rest of the show. Speaking of the rest of the show, let's get to our hot shot guest, Andrea Carter. All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is BettingTheW. Max, Kate, and Damon, and a very special guest,
Very.
Andrea Carter of ESPN. Andrea, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. We met, what was that? Feels like a few months ago at this point. Said we would do this, and we made it happen, so I'm glad.
Yeah. So, a bit of backstory. Andrea is a former classmate of one of our beloved professors and a good friend of the show, Dr. Allison Smith. Shout out. One of our favorite people. And you're one of her favorite people, which makes you one of our favorite people, too. So, you are very qualified to be talking hoops with us today. You are an ESPN analyst. You played basketball at the University of Tennessee. You have done a whole slew of things. I would love to rattle them all off, but I think I would forget some, and that would be a discredit to you. Let's talk about the most recent event that you were a part of. So you were a part of the NBA draft show for ESPN. What was that experience like? Was that the coolest thing you've ever done?
Oh, man, it's definitely up there. Like, between the NBA draft and, like, watching guys have their dreams literally come true, like, right in front of us, and the emotion and the, all the hard work paying off. I think between that and then between, like, crowning a champion, like, those two things are extremely hard to beat. I think, the NBA draft is really special because there's not really a loser, like, everyone that gets their name called, it's a dream come true. When you call a championship game, there's a winner and there's a loser. So there's celebration and there's also heartache. So I would say, the draft was the coolest thing that I've been a part of. It was so much fun. It was so cool to talk about the guys and having genuine thoughts on how their games can translate to the next level and what skills they have that are transferable on, when being a part of the NBA. So I think that it was really special. And the team that I worked with was great. Everybody was so much fun. So I think that's the coolest part of my job is I really enjoy everyone that I work with. So every assignment feels like a ton of fun. So it's cool.
Yeah.
And you had Twitter in a frenzy
I did.
with you up there demonstrating everything. I think it was great. And you earned that. Congratulations, our daughter, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks. Twitter was very polarizing, which is a good thing. Like, you don't ever want to be in the middle, like if
Exactly.
people are just like, she's okay. Then it's like, oh, well, didn't really make an impact. So
Nobody tunes in to see something in the middle. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think your performance was fantastic. You're part of an all-star cast at that draft show, and you shined. You were with the big dogs, and it was awesome. It was great to watch.
Thanks, guys.
And you earned that Best Young Reporter title. For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
before you were in the media, you had a long path, obviously, but it kind of started for you at Tennessee and playing basketball there. Obviously, a storied program. What was your experience like playing? I think you probably get this question a lot, but playing under Pat Summitt, the legendary Pat Summitt. What was your experience like working with her and playing for her?
Yeah, so Pat was amazing. I mean, it was hard because my freshman year was like her emeritus year. And then, things just started to kind of take a hold of her. And, but I think that for me, being recruited by her in high school and having conversations with her and committing to her and talking to her and just seeing how she carries herself and how humble she is and how she had time for everyone, no matter how busy she was, and how she would be honest, but it always came with a place of love, even if it was critiquing me or critiquing the team or anything like that. It always came from a good place, and from a place of knowing that I was capable of more, I could do better. And so I think that she was a really good example of holding people to a very high standard, but for a very good reason. And I think that sometimes that doesn't always happen with coaches now, and I think she was special. Honestly, she passed while I was there, while I was on the team, and one of the most special things about that, as hard as it was watching everyone, all the former players, just come together for Pat and the impact that she had on all of them. And meeting at Holly Warlick's house, and it's just a ton of former Lady Vols and everybody just connecting. And I think that the sisterhood that we have because of her is really what sticks with me the most. And it still means a lot to me. Like, my time at Tennessee was very, very special. I didn't have necessarily the basketball career that I wanted, had maybe 5 too many surgeries than I would have liked to have. But being a part of Pat's legacy and being a Lady Vol and all that it's led to now, even without everything it's led to, it's still really, really special to me. So it's a huge part of who I am for sure.
That's incredible. I feel like every story I hear about Pat Summitt just, kind of awes me, because she's just such an influential figure in the lives of everyone that she meets or she met, and that's clearly had a big impact on you and your career. So very cool to hear about that. We do want to get into some hoops talk. Do you guys have any other career, personal related questions for Andrea? Because I have one. I want to give you guys a chance.
I think we have the same one, so I'll let you go for it.
Okay. So it took everything in me to not lead with this, because I'm very intrigued. You have a pet snake.
Yeah, I do.
How did you decide on a snake as your pet of choice?
So it's, I grew up with a pet snake. So there's literally a picture of me. I'm 3, maybe 4 years old. I don't know. I can't tell how old I am. And my first snake is around my neck. Wow. So I grew up with them. My mom would take me to the zoo, and I was fascinated by snakes when I was in elementary school. There's literally, I think I have it. I'm not going to show it, but I drew a picture, and it was when I have a pet, it will be this, and it was a snake. And so I've just loved them since I was a kid. And my dad didn't really like snakes, so when we moved in with him, he was like, no snakes. And I was like, as I got older, I was like, when I get to college, I'm going to get a pet snake. I'm going to get a pet snake. And literally freshman year is when I got him.
Really?
I still have him, so I've had him for 10 years.
Wow.
We are adding to our family. I'm going to get a girl in a few weeks, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But snakes are easy. When they're young, they eat once a week. He eats, now Nothing is his name. He eats every 3 weeks. He stays in his tank. His tank has a heat panel. The humidity is set. So he literally, I could leave him alone for 2 weeks. He'd be fine. So they're the perfect pet for someone like me who's on the road. They have more personality than people give them credit for. He's the best. I would get him out, but he ate yesterday, so
okay.
Don't handle them after they eat. You got to let their food settle.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But he's the
You
best.
say Nothing is his name?
Yeah, his name is Nothing.
So how'd you land on that?
It's from a book that I read. I'm very when I set my mind to something, I'm very much going to stick to it. So I literally read this book in middle school. It's a movie. It ended up being a movie called Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I don't know if anyone knows this movie or this book, but I read it. There's a character in the book named Nothing. I liked his energy. He didn't care what anybody thought about him. Mind you, I'm in middle school. And so I was like, ooh, when I get a snake, I'm going to name him Nothing. So I don't know, 8 years later, got a snake and named him Nothing.
That's incredible commitment to a name. That you never lost track of that goal. I was gonna say, that's the perfect animal for someone who travels as much as you and is away. Learning a lot about snake care today. Andrea. This is a segment that we like to do during our episodes called Tailing and Fading. We gave you a little fill-in, but we like to explain it anyway for anybody who might be new. Tailing and fading is just the way that we talk about women's sports news each week. Tailing is the things that we like, things that had a good week, things that performed well. Fading, not so much. Fading has some room for improvement. So this is like a hot and a cold, a trending up and a trending down style segment. And let's break down some topics, you guys.
There we go.
Damon, why don't you lead us off?
I'll lead
a
us
little
off.
tailing and fading so we can give a little example.
Give us a good feel. All right, I'm tailing us, guys.
Us.
Betting
Okay.
the W. Tailing betting the W. Look at this. We're all behind the desk for the
We
first
are.
time. and
It's been a while.
It's been some
God
time
knows
since we were
how
all
long.
together.
Not only are we behind the desk, we have a very special guest.
We do. This
One
is
of
a
our
great.
favorite people in the
this is-
sports media world.
This is a great return to the show.
We are back in a big way. Our computers might not agree.
No.
but
Computers are struggling, but we're doing
we are
great.
definitely Barack.
Yes. Stop saying.
And I am fading parity, especially in the WNBA.
Mhm.
It's the year of the super teams. We know this. Andrea broke it down so nicely last night during the game.
Yes.
And it's just, there's only 4 teams in the W with a winning record right now.
Mhm.
1 team in the West with a winning record, and that's Aces. We all knew they would run through the league. But parity in the league, not looking so good.
It's not the move right now. And why don't we talk some super teams, because we had the matchup last night. And Draya, I'm curious, like, what were your thoughts on the Liberty Aces debate coming into the season versus now? Like, where is your head at?
I think honestly the where they are and like last night's game was a good representation of where I thought they would be. Like I understand the pieces that the Liberty have, and I even said it in the piece, you know, they're a blank canvas with the tools to create a masterpiece, but nothing really in place, you know, like Sabrina Ionescu had to change the way she plays the game. Benijah Laney has a completely new role, and then you've got 3 new starters on the team, and then other new pieces. Like I love Kayla Thornton. I think she's an incredible player, but she's still learning to be on a new team. Same thing with Jonquel Jones. Same thing with Brianna Stewart. Same thing with Courtney Vandersloot. So for me, when I look at the difference in the 2 super teams that we've talked about this season, like the Aces have a complete leg up, and I would even give Connecticut a leg up in a sense because they have a new coach, and obviously that makes a difference, but foundationally they have a lot of the same pieces that are still in place, and then they add a veteran in Tiffany Hayes who fits their system perfectly. Like nothing really has to change with Connecticut's style when adding Tiffany Hayes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think they're right where they need to be, right where I expected them to be. Like I expected the Aces to be better / significantly better than the Liberty. So yeah, I'm hearing a bunch of static. Is that just me?
No, we got that too.
I'm hearing that too.
I don't know where that's.
Nothing can be easy.
No. Noise reduction? Oh,
Oh,
she muted herself.
Yeah, you
you're muted,
so
but no, we don't.
Yeah,
No.
it was
Yeah.
Now it's fine.
We good?
gone. I guess.
Okay.
All right. I think we're good.
I don't know if I need to give that whole answer again.
I think you're
No,
good. I
you're
was
not.
checking it while,
Okay.
like the little lines when you speak.
Okay. Cool.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
I do
Oh,
think
man.
parity is definitely fading. I think the league is very top heavy right now, which is hard. But I think, I don't know, I had some like tailing that kind of would maybe help a little bit of parity in that I'm tailing Minnesota and Seattle right now because Minnesota started 0-6. They're 6-3 in their last 9 games. Diamond Miller is back. She was averaging 10 points in the 5 games before she got hurt. in her last 2 games. I know it was against the Storm, and they've had a rough season so far as well, minus Jewel Lloyd just being absolutely on fire. But, Diamond had 18 points against the Storm. She had 19 points against the Storm. So I think her addition to Nafisa Collier, who's been playing great. Kayla McBride seems to have found her 3-point shooting. And they have some other players that, I think Dorka Ugos had 10 points in her last couple of games. So I'm tailing Minnesota. Not that I think they're going to be a championship winning team, but I do think that they're a little bit on the upswing after really struggling. And then Seattle, I'm tailing Seattle because Jewel Lloyd is phenomenal, and I'm catching wind that they might be signing Gabby Williams, which would be huge. Yes, getting her back from overseas, working that out, her defensive energy, her strength, her presence, her veteran leadership, her overseas experience, like she is going to be a huge piece for Seattle if she can get back into the swing with them. So I'm tailing those 2 teams as 2 teams that have been struggling, 2 teams in the West. We just talked about only 1 team in the West has a winning record. So I do think that those 2 teams have a little bit of something.
I was ready to proclaim Caitlin Clark a Minnesota Lynx at the beginning of the season, but they really turned it around. And on the call last night, they said, that was a battle. They proclaimed these 2 teams better than their record, and I really believe that now.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I'm fading injuries, and I'm fading Shakira Austin being out, Brianna Jones being out for the rest of the season. I think, in a league that only has so many roster spots, and it's just so hard when you see an injury because it's so hard to make one of these teams in the first place, and with such a small roster, some of these people have such big roles on these teams, and then you're bringing in people for 10-day contracts, and it's just hard, so I definitely am fading injuries / structure, and I'm also fading Alyssa Thomas not being an all-star starter because I think that's crazy, but other than that, I'm not fading much else.
She got positive vibes.
I do think
that's my plan.
We keep the vibes positive, but there are definitely some gripes to be had with injuries, and why is Alyssa Thomas not starting in the All-Star game?
Man,
blasphemous.
Yeah.
It really hurts with the seasons like Shakira and Bree Jones have been having.
Yeah.
To watch them go down, I'm heartbroken.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But overall, great vibes. You understood the assignment. You brought fantastic tailing and fading. That was awesome. Kate,
I'm inspired.
what do you have for tailing and fading this week?
Oh, so this week, a few weeks ago, I refused to fade anything. My vibes are always just positive. I just can't think negatively. But as of late, I'm fading the NCAA's governance with their new ruling that their legislation is over state laws regarding NIL. That just sounds like a lot of chaos upcoming for athletes who want NIL and their universities trying to support them with that. And I'm just not ready for all the news and all the struggles and all the suspensions following it. But in good news, in tailing, I've been really tailing America as of late.
Tailing America this week is crazy.
With the women's national team, the World Cup coming up, I've never wanted to fly the flag more.
It's perfect time.
I don't know. I don't understand soccer. That is the one sport that I just can't. I just don't. It's so much harder for me to understand and learn everything, but I cannot wait to watch them. And I'm hoping my sport knowledge grows watching the World Cup because I'm ready to root for America.
Absolutely.
I almost wore a National Women's Soccer League shirt today, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be on BettingTheW. I'm going to wear my WNBA shirt.
Right.
But I have bought my gear for the U.S. Women's National Team. I already bought my stuff.
I need to do that.
I think the 2 things that will get me into soccer are this World Cup and us contending for it, us being America, and then when we get the NWSL team in Boston.
Yeah.
Then I will be a super fan of that team, and I will be attending for sure.
There we go.
Yeah, soccer, working on it, working towards it. We're a big hoops
Ted
podcast.
Ted Lasso's great though.
You know that.
Okay, I've got some tailing and fading before we get into this weekend's WNBA slate. So I am tailing the youth of America. There's a youth movement going on. I've been trying to bring some Olympic sports, some non-basketball sports to the tailing and fading, and this week I have skateboarding. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Arisa True became the first woman to ever land a 720.
Yep.
I'm not a skateboarding expert,
That's hard.
but I've watched a lot of Tony Hawk highlights, and I know that the 720 is awesome. And for her to be the first woman to do it at 13 years old is unbelievable. That's true. Girl, technically.
Oh my
She's
God.
only 13 years old, and honestly, like, young women historically dominate skateboarding, which is so cool to see. Like, these young people out here competing with these grown adults and doing things that are even cooler than what the adults can do. The 720 is a special thing in sports, and for Arisa True to make that history this week was awesome. So shout out to her. And then I've got another youth athlete. I'm tentatively fading the GOAT, Katie Ledecky. So Katie Ledecky, anyone who watches swimming knows that Katie Ledecky is like the greatest swimmer of all time, holds all the records that there are to hold in swimming. But this week, she was in the 200-meter national championship. She lost to a 16-year-old swimmer named Claire Weinstein. I kind of thought that like no one could even get close to beating Katie Ledecky in her time.
Right.
And here comes the youth movement of swimming, apparently, with Claire Weinstein. Katie Ledecky is the queen of the 200-meter, and she got beat. So we got a couple teenagers making history this week, which is very cool to see, and a great way to get people into the women's sports that they might not see on TV all the time or only see every 4 years at the Olympics. Arisa True and Claire Weinstein won the week this week.
I like it.
Names
I like
to
it.
watch.
Names to watch for the future. They've got a bright future ahead.
Yeah, a long future ahead.
A long future, absolutely.
13.
That is
13 years old.
it's incredible.
That's amazing.
It's incredible. That was fantastic tailing and fading. That was awesome.
Good job,
Great
guys.
job, guys. Great segment.
Go team.
Let's get into a little betting the weekend segment that we like to do. So we've got a good slate of WNBA games coming up this weekend. Andrea, which matchup are you most excited about this weekend?
I'm excited for multiple matchups. I will be on the call for Dallas against Washington on Sunday, but I will be watching closely Vegas versus Connecticut. That's going to be
Exactly.
like Connecticut is the only team that's beaten the Aces this season. They did it behind Dewana Bonner's 41 points. I believe it was 41. It was like 41 or 43. It was something in the 40s. Career high for her. As someone that's been in the league for double-digit seasons, which is incredible. I don't think Jackie Young, I called that game. I was on the call for when Connecticut beat Vegas, and I don't think Jackie Young was 100%. She tweaked her ankle that week and just didn't look like herself. So how does her impact, we could see directly the impact that she has on this team as they face Connecticut. However, there's another caveat because Connecticut's going to be playing without Brianna Jones.
Yeah.
And Brianna Jones obviously is a huge piece to Connecticut's inside presence, to Connecticut's rebounding, to Connecticut's defense. So those are really big pieces that Connecticut has to figure out. Dejanay Carrington's been playing amazing. Obviously, the Aces are coming off of a really impressive win against New York. 32 assists on 40 made baskets is insane, but Connecticut plays better defense than New York, right? So Connecticut, they held the Aces to, I think, 77 points when they beat the Aces. The Aces are averaging 93 points per game. So what does Connecticut look like without Bree Jones, defensively, offensively, rebounding-wise? What do they look like against the reigning champs? They're going to come in with a lot of energy, so I'm excited for that rematch, really, because that was a really exciting game the first time that these two teams faced each other.
Finals.
Absolutely.
I
Very
don't
exciting.
want to
Let's hear it.
tease, but that might be my walk-off pick. That
Ooh.
might be my walk-off pick this episode.
It's going to be the game to watch, and like you've
Yeah.
said, Draya, we call the Aces and Liberties, like the title favorites, I think on DraftKings they've been kind of putting it out there like, you can bet on New York or Las Vegas versus the field.
Right.
In that way, like you're kind of betting on Vegas on their own, but I think the best challenger there is Connecticut, easily.
Yeah.
We've seen it. They're the only team that has taken down the Aces so far this season.
Yeah.
David, I know you're pumped for this matchup too. What do you have any notes?
I am. No, I'm just really interested to see what they could do, what the Sun could do to Asia Wilson without Bree Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she might just feast.
She very well could. We might see a classic Aces beatdown, or we could see the Sun scrap like they have in over and over and over again throughout the years to pull one out again. I'm pumped for that one too. I'm also pumped to see the Sky and the Fever go at it tonight, I believe. So the Fever have been very competitive this season. Not so much last night.
Last night was
Oh no!
Didn't have the best game last night, but they have looked good, like genuinely good in a season that we expected them to, be developing. They've looked very competitive. They get a few days rest after last night. And then they play a very beatable Chicago team at home in a Midwest matchup. I think Chicago has been very up and down. So I'm pumped to see Aaliyah Boston and the Fever, as they are usually referred to, take on Chicago in Indianapolis. That's just a big matchup to watch. And every time Aaliyah Boston, but the entire Indiana core has turned the Fever into must-watch basketball.
Yeah.
They're a team that you want to see on your television set. So that's the matchup that I'm rolling with this weekend. How about a player performance that you're looking forward to this weekend?
This is tough. At the beginning of the season, we had a countdown show. It was me, LaChina, and Carolyn at the desk for Phoenix's game. It was PG's first home game. It was against Chicago. And we had to do like I can't remember what we called it. Oh, a bold prediction. We had to do a bold prediction. And my bold prediction was that a guard would win MVP. Because a guard hasn't won MVP since 2009 when Diana Taurasi won it. It has been a forward ever since. So I felt like that was bold. They didn't feel like it was bold, but I think going back to 2009 is a really long time, so it seemed bold to me. So I am always secretly in the back of my mind cheering for Jewel Lloyd and Arike Ogunbowale, because I think if a guard's going to win it, it's going to be one of those two. Jewel just put up 41 in overtime. The team lost to Minnesota just last night, but 41 points is incredible. So Jewel's been playing extremely well. Arike's been playing extremely well. The game, Dallas and Washington, the last time the two teams played, it was a 1-point win for Washington. So I do think that Arike is going to have a little bit of an edge facing Washington. So I will say I'm excited to watch Arike Ogunbowale. We also just had the piece Building Blocks about Arike and all the pieces of her game and who she reminds us of and all those things. So I'm excited to watch Arike take on Washington, and also secretly rooting for a guard to win MVP.
I think we can all.
Even though Breanna Stewart, I think she's
tough to beat.
Yeah.
Brianna and Aza are going to be tough to outdo for sure.
Yeah.
But I do have a future on Arike Ogunbowale, so I'm holding on hope. She's had a very up and down season, but she's just an electric player to watch. If you watch the games, you know that she can go off at any time and makes the Wings an exciting team to watch when they are even when they're struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are always tuned into Arike.
Yeah.
Fan favorite in this house.
Yes. I'm excited about another big time scorer. I'm so high on Nafisha Collier right now. The Lynx took over Seattle this week, back-to-back dubs over the Storm, and Nafisha Collier combined 64 points, 33 and then 31, or the other way around. She's averaging 22.4 and grabbing 7.7 rebounds on the season. Just another double-double threat in a league that's filled with them. And I'm excited for her to kind of tee off against the Mercury. That's going to be a battle between teams that are kind of fighting for their playoff lives. We talked about the big playoff picture. They're still in it. And I think that she makes the Lynx a team that could cause some chaos. And I think her game is very underappreciated for sure. Damn, who are you watching this weekend?
Someone we mentioned. I'm watching Breanna Stewart. The Libs are heading up to Seattle,
The Libs.
as if they ever left.
Right?
And you know Stu's going to put on a show for that crowd.
Yeah.
She had, 25 and 11 last time she was there.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to try and top that. That's the one I'm keeping my eye on.
Brianna's much watched TV every
Yeah,
time. she's
especially
on.
in a revenge game.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
good. She's so good. What was impressive about that game was she really struggled in the first half and then was able to kind of flip the switch in the second half and kind of turn it on and take over and lead her team. So I was impressed by that overall because that's an overwhelming day. Like she talked about it. She was like, "This feels weird. There's a lot. I'm dealing with a lot of emotions, and trying to let myself feel all of them." So I am interested too. That's a good call in like how this second time back, how she starts the game, how they, and they're coming off of a loss. They're coming off a big loss. So how they respond and how she leads in that response, I think would be really impressive and really big.
Yeah, and we've had so many great offensive performances, and everyone's teasing 50. I've been on the record a few times saying we're going to get a 50 piece this year.
Right.
I really want it to be this game.
That would be huge. Brianna back in Seattle grabbing a 50 ball would be crazy to watch.
Yeah.
But I think she's one of the players that could do it. Obviously, we talked about Jewel could absolutely get 50. She keeps getting 40. We got a lot of scoring threats, and Brianna Stewart is like chief among them. And it's great to see her back in full prime form. So, Draya, we have one more segment that we want to do with you. Again, we are so appreciative for the time that you have given us, and this has been great. We've had some awesome insight from you. This is one of our favorite new segments that we're really excited to show off to you and to anyone who hasn't watched the show before. So, rolling the dice is a game that we play. 3 dice. We roll 3 dice, then 2 dice, then 1 die, and those 3 numbers combine to make a stat line. So, points, rebounds, assists. We've done a little experimenting. I had JJ going for 15 points, 3 assists, 2 blocks last night. Damon and I went head to head. I took home a victory. So Damon and I each have a win in our head-to-head competition.
And
Kate has 3 or 4. Kate has won the rest.
Let's just say when Kate's here, when Kate's playing, Kate's winning.
She knows what she's talking about. So
Kate knows ball.
we're gonna roll the dice. We have a little time for deliberation. Try to do it as quick as we can, but obviously you gotta feel good about your pick. So Damon, start us off with the 3 dice.
What was that, 10?
We have
10.
2,
10.
2, and 6. That is a 10. Then we have 3 and 1 for 4. And the 1 die, we have 2.
10, 4,
So
and 2.
10, 4, and 2.
That's not right.
That's not a crazy
That's not a crazy night.
big night for anybody. So what player do we think can grab 10, 4, and 2 in a game this weekend?
It's so hard to pull the numbers and the names right off your head.
When I'm looking at that, I see Bridget Carlton.
Stop, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Bridget Carlton.
Odd favorite.
Big
DC.
Bridget Carlton fans over here.
We have a running joke because Damon and I went up to Toronto for the WNBA game.
Okay.
Canada, and she's Canadian, so she was highlighted and celebrated. And so I've just been a big Carlton fan ever since.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny.
I feel like I usually go with a Lynx player.
You love the Lynx.
I do for some reason, and I like Dorka Juhas's game. She's made a big impact for the Lynx as a rookie.
Okay.
She averages about 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. So I'm going to give her a big night scoring. I'm going to go for 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. A true line, points, rebounds, assists. She's going to do that in the game against Mercury. So I'm having a 10-point game for Dorka Juhas with 4 rebounds and 2 assists.
Okay. That's pretty good. I think
I feel
doable.
good about it.
It's
I feel good
doable.
about it.
It's doable for sure. I have a name.
You have a name.
I have a name for everyone. We mentioned her earlier. I'm liking, I think, Dejanay Carrington.
Ooh,
I
okay.
was looking at that.
Yeah.
Good
She
one.
wasn't in the rotation really much to start the year. She's been balling lately. I think
Okay.
10-4-2, just straight across. Actually, no, 4 assists. So go 10 points, 2 boards, 4 assists.
Mm,
I, I think it's doable. I think somewhere in that ballpark will be.
She's had a big week.
Yeah.
So I definitely like those numbers for her.
I'm gonna go because there are teams we haven't talked about, and one couple of teams we haven't talked about are LA and Atlanta. They play, so I'm gonna give 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh,
That's funky, though.
to De'Erica Hamby.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
I like that.
I'm thinking this is gonna be the week I drop. I think she just absolutely nailed that. I'm
You can't-
thinking.
Yeah, Kate.
All right.
Well, I was.
I'm hating.
Listen.
10 is hard. 10 is hard because it's like, does someone have an off night? Does someone that's struggling have a really
Yeah.
good night? Or does someone that's right in the middle play right in the middle where they're supposed to be? 10 is like a hard number. Like if it was a
Exactly.
22, it'd be like you'd have a few to pick from and you'd be good to go. But
Yeah.
10 is tough.
I was pulling. I'm sunburned again, guys.
I shouldn't have worn this shirt.
He shouldn't have worn the shirt. He shouldn't have picked on the sun. We know that's my team. I'm going to Natisha Hydeman.
Okay. Straight across.
Straight across. 10
Okay.
4-2.
10, 4, and 2 for Natisha Heidemann. All right. So those are the rolling the dice picks. I got Darka Juhas. Damon
a good
has
pick.
Dejanay Carrington. Kate has Natisha Heidemann. And Andrea has De'Erica Hamby. And so,
Steals.
With
I
the-
like it.
the
Yeah.
steals
I
yeah,
is
with
like
the
it.
steals is an
We'll see.
awesome move. So we will see how those lines shake out this weekend. I'm very excited. This is a fun way to kind of look at player stats and get a little skin in the game. So with that, we will send you off. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we really are appreciative of the time and the expertise that you bring to the table. And we wish you the best of luck in the next awesome thing that you do. We can't wait to see you on TV again.
Just know every time you're on TV, you're recording, we're watching.
Yeah.
We're there. We're supporting, no matter what.
You. I appreciate it so much. This was awesome. Thank you all for having me, and we'll do it again.
Awesome.
Love it.
Thank you so much,
Perfect.
Andrea.
Thank you so much.
Be well.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Oh, so you can dap him up once, and not me. But when you dap me up, he gets one too.
Bro, we gotta eat.
Dude, yeah.
The homies, you gotta make sure the homies eat.
Gotta respect the boys.
All right, gang. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed recording it. Andrea was a fantastic guest. Really appreciated having her on.
Fantastic
lovely
person.
woman.
A now recurring guest. She said she'd be back. Fantastic.
Shouldn't have said that.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you
Can't
made a
wait.
mistake, right?
Can't wait. So let's hit a few of our segments that we didn't get to with Andrea. We have some betting segments. And everyone knows Andrea controls what happens in the game, so
Yeah, we had
to save those.
We didn't want her on the run like Shams.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
That was a joke. We are going to spare you all the WNBA Friday parlay.
We need a break.
We're going to reassess.
Yeah.
We are so bad at making these picks. Haven't won one yet, so we're going to reassess. We're going to look at next week's slate and really lock in on what is going to happen because we need a win bad.
Bad. In
Kate.
a bad way.
Yeah.
I haven't been keeping track of your record, but I'm gonna say you've been killing your feast or famine picks. Thank you. I think you know what goes down with
know it
player
all.
props. So I've got a few picks.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me whether these players are going to feast or famine.
You know, this might not be my best week. I've not been home a lot to watch the games. I have no idea what's going on, and I am down a laptop, as you might be able to tell. I cannot see any stat lines. I am going solely on Twitter presence
And vibes.
and vibes.
The vibes are all you really need.
So-
I believe in you.
Thank you.
I've
I'll
got-
fill out the vibes.
I've got a couple of sparks for you.
Okay.
Oh.
So Lexi Brown has had a resurgence. She's struggles to stay healthy, to stay on the court, but when she's on the court, she plays great. The Sparks have some good guards, and Lexi Brown's been leading that charge. Her points total for tonight, they are playing East Sky. Her points total for tonight is set at 12.5 points. Is Lexi Brown going over or under 12.5 tonight?
Dude.
I told you should drink water.
It's so nasty.
Still feeling those shots.
I'm feeling a famine, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I am. That's a lot, not a lot of points.
You're gonna be sweating it.
That's a stressful feast. Like, that's not a vibe that I'm like 100% she's feasting. So I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna say famine, especially against the Sky. Very good team. Sparks, not so much.
Okay. Lexi Brown, under 12.5 points. I trust you on that. Let me give you another spark.
Okay.
The face of the franchise, Nneka Nwumike.
Oh.
One of the best rebounders in the league.
Oh yeah.
Number set at 7.5 tonight against the Sky. The Sky aren't a very tall team.
No, they're not.
What do you think about Nneka grabbing 8 boards? Yay or nay?
I want to say yay. I do want to say yay.
That doesn't sound like you're gonna.
I'm gonna say yay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I feel more yay than nay.
Ooh, okay.
You're
yay curious.
I'm yay. Happy Pride.
Oh yeah, happy Pride.
One more day.
Almost over.
One more day. I'll be yay curious.
All right. I didn't realize I did this, but these are all from the same game. So let me give you a Sky player, since you seem to be high on the Sky. Let me give you Marina Mabry, 3.5 assists, a measly 3.5 assists. Hammer in the over.
Yeah.
Marina Mabry 4+ assists. You love it?
I love it.
She loves it.
I love it.
That's what we're going with tonight.
Okay.
All in one matchup. You can do a little same game parlay if you like.
That's exciting.
This could be
That's
your Friday parlay.
This is actually your Friday parlay. Maybe Kate will have some better luck than we do. Lexi Brown.
You know what?
Over
I'll take one for the
12.5.
team. I will make a parlay. This.
You will throw something on there?
I will throw all of that on
Hell
there.
yeah.
Follow the viewers. Stay with the viewers. I believe in myself so much.
I love it. I love the confidence. Lexi Brown under 12.5 points. Nneka Nwumike over 7.5 rebounds. Marina Mabry over 3.5 assists. That is your Sky Sparks parlay.
Woo!
Sparks in the Sky. What is this, 4th of July? Coming up this week?
Heyo!
Anyway.
That was worse than the hot shot.
All right.
I'm still like.
Yeah, you look like you're an animal.
It's burning a little bit. Every
not
time.
even-
I'm
Dude,
good
I
now.
think that thing just tasted so bad.
It didn't taste great.
No,
It
it's
didn't
not
taste
good.
We did.
Make it
It's lingering.
blue raspberry or something.
Yeah, true. Add a little
Yeah.
blue raz in there. Mix it with lemonade. Anything mixed with
Ooh.
lemonade is good. All right.
Make a cocktail.
It is time
Next
to
week.
send you off into the weekend with our walk-off segment.
I'm going last.
You're on last.
I also forgot to tell you to bring 2 picks because now our records
Hold on.
don't match
Find
up.
another. You can go last with 2.
I'll go
Yeah,
last.
find a second pick because Kate is sitting at 8-14. I'm a half a game ahead of Kate at 9-14. Went win-loss the last 2 weeks, so I need a bounce back here. Damon, you're chilling at my reciprocal as always, 14-9. We're 2 sides of a coin. Damon's killing it. Kate and I are struggling. Well, Kate hasn't picked in a while, so maybe
Kate's
she's
just not been here.
maybe she's coming back hot. Let me give you this. And every time I feel confident about a pick, it doesn't go well for me. But Elena Deladon, her rebounds prop for tonight is set at 6.5. That feels like an easy over for me. I feel like it's rare that EDD goes under 7 boards. I am going to take her going over 6.5 rebounds tonight. Will I regret it? Maybe, but that's my dog. An excellent rebounder. I think 6.5 is a disrespectfully low number, especially with Shakira Austin out. She's gonna have to play the 5 a little bit.
Yeah.
EDD to grab many boards tonight.
A lot of boards. I'm liking that same game, especially because Shakira's out. Everything I've been throwing at the walls been sticking lately.
Let me just say, he predicted a triple-double last week. not that crazy, because if anyone's going to do it, it was Alyssa Thomas. But still, he predicted a triple-double, which has only happened like 24 times in league history. And not only did she do it on Sunday when he said she would, she did it again on Wednesday, later in the week. The man is shooting over 100% at this point. So whatever you've got, I believe in it.
Yeah.
He's the one telling Draya what's gonna happen.
Facts.
I'm writing that
He's
script,
writing the
bro.
script.
Yeah, so I'm getting real crazy. Shakira's out. I don't know who's doing the tip. They had Brittany Sykes do it for the Mystics last game. I'm going with a first bucket pick.
Oh my jeez.
First basket. We're getting wild. I'm going with Ariel Atkins at plus 650. If it's not EDD, they got just a slew of players that could do it.
They do.
With Sykes jumping, which I think she's going to do the tip.
Yeah.
I think Atkins is going to be the one to get it.
All right.
I like that.
I like it.
I do like that.
If you hit a first basket prop,
I think we should genuinely.
we might as well
bet
just put
as
you
well.
back here and cut
Send him to
us.
Vegas.
You've been sharp lately, so if you hit this, I'm gonna be very, very impressed.
15-9 would be.
This guy's hot. This guy's hot as it gets. Kate,
Hi.
2 picks for us this
I
weekend.
scrambled for the second one.
Okay.
Hit up DraftKings on my phone because I don't have a laptop, as we
Oh,
said.
do you
Had
not?
no ability to
No
look at
laptop.
stats or anything, no games. But I am gonna go with my first pick, which is I'm taking the Sun over the Aces tomorrow.
Okay. Ooh.
It's
bold.
It's bold.
I did,
The Aces are they're in Vegas. That kind of was hurting my decision a little bit, but I believe in the Sun.
at this point, picking the Aces to lose is a very bold pick.
So,
I don't know what the number will be on the
Especially
money
with
line,
Jones.
but they will be a heavy
But-
favorite.
Yeah, it's like picking Oklahoma softball.
Yeah, exactly. Like
They lost the
that's a
one game,
bold
sure.
pick. That's a
but-
bold pick.
Those were all good. I'm pulling for the Sun. Big Sun fan
Yeah.
here. You know what? I'm also a fan. Who I'm also a fan of?
Who's that?
Clea Copper.
Okay.
Over 16.5 tonight.
Oof.
Okay.
All right. Big
That's
night
my
for
take,
KFC. I like it. I like Kalia. I like the Sun. Side note on the Aces and just being dominant. I wish I would have taken all the teams' preseason win totals and kept track of them, because the Aces could be the first team to hit their win total despite being set at 29.5. It will be crazy if they when are they going to lose? Maybe this weekend.
I don't know.
Tomorrow.
Those are the walk-off picks.
Hammered.
Do with those what you will.
Probably.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you tuned in for the very first time to see Andrea Carter, come back next week. It's just as fun every other week.
Maybe a little less fun.
Little
without
less.
Andrea,
Little
but we're
less
pretty
Little
fun.
less straight.
But we'll get some more cool guests for you, and you won't just have to stare at us every week. Every Friday, BettingTheW podcast. Follow us on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be well.